Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your stuff always gets me off, and that's oddly appropriate that you had happened to be the last one that's in the thing. Then I get to read after you, Yippee Skippy. Thank you very much. That was very, very cool, Richard. I I can't appropriately follow, but then again, well, that's what I'm going to do. Time for round number 2 of the readings for right here at Poetic License. I'm going to share with you 3 poems, and as I usually do in round 2, I will share them from the most recent issue of Down in the Dirt magazine, which was just released this year, or this month, titled Distances, which I thought just, an appropriately sketchy shot of, the Great Wall of China, because that's something about distances going on there, I think. So that's on the cover for that one. Issues are named after accepted writings within it, so I actually pulled out something from the middle of the book. Usually my stuff is at the end of the book, but somebody said, I have to pull this poem, and it was about to go to press, and I'm like, I gotta fill it something with something. So I found a poem, and it was something I did at a show a couple of years ago in Chicago at In One Ear, which I believe, I don't know if Oz Hardwick has been here to see it for, or if Dan Weinberg had been there, but this is one of the pieces I did in that show. And actually, to talk about it with John F. McMullen, this is something that mentions different places. It mentions California, and I believe the next book that Cyberwit would like to be doing of stuff of mine might be stuff talking about poetry about different places in the world, and this might be included in that one. But that I might be doing something. I never write poems about religious battle or things like that, and I might be working on something like that to come up with something in that book as well for different places in the world. Just thought I'd share that with you because I have no idea what's going on with the future books and Cyberwit. But this poem, which I said has lots of images in it that you can't see really tiny when you look at it here, is titled For Far Too Many Years. After news reports of fires along the coast of California and through national forests filled half a newscast, a reporter then said on live TV, "We will now have to learn how to live with fire." Live with fire, he says, after I escaped the gates of hell and am now forever forced into purgatory. I spend every waking moment licked by flames. I know what it's like to be parched, because all this time I've been scorched. And I wonder why everyone else hasn't been living with hellfire all this time already. It's been around us since the beginning of time, for far too many years for it to not find you. All this time, it's been breathing down my back, teasing me, whispering to me, calling to me. Short one from that one. As I had said, that was also in the show. And because you can't see it in this, I'm going to find, I stood in this metallic outfit for this feature. So there's a number of shots when people were photographing me throughout the show, where I was reading things talking about hellfire. Yeah, there I go with my hands. But it was an intriguing time to be performing like this with these shots and trying to get as many points across as possible. I didn't realize how expressive I was with my face, but there you go, or with my hands. But anyway, that was the first one, and that might be appearing in the book release next year through Cyberwit. I'm not sure. But the next two, because I said I had to do it and I had to wear a periodic table book, and I asked people beforehand if I should wear blue lipstick, which you people can't see it quite here. And Susan even said, "What do you want to do?" So I said, okay, for this round when I'm going to read periodic table poems, I am going to put on my blue lipstick like I did in a past show in Chicago. This next 2 poems are periodic table poems. They follow writing about an element in here. The poem is Argon, and it appears not only in Distances, but also in Twitterverse periodic table poetry. I don't know how to show them off, but some of you guys have seen them enough. But anywho, this one is a short one titled Argon, Like My Exes. Argon was named for the Greek word for lazy, because argon is so stable and resistant to bonding. that seems common, and also like a few of my exes. Short one from Periodic Table Poetry that is Twitter length. I did those in a show, and I might as well share. I've got 3 shots where I was doing a Beach Poets show, and I don't know if Dan ever went. Yes, of course Dan went to the ones, but one year they did a bonus week, and it was at Armadillo Pub, the bookstore. So there are shots of me in reading periodic table poems off of my phone, which is why you're seeing me holding up my phone for talking about different things for it. But it was a fun time being able to do that and share poems with people live, as well as in Zoom meetings, I suppose. But this last one is for the poem Argon, the element Argon, and as I said, it's not only in Distances, the Down the Dirt book, but it's also in the periodic table of poetry. Da, 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 da. I have to do music for it because I don't know, you just have to. This is a poem called Argon. Argonne National Laboratory, the first U.S. science and engineering research national laboratory, was started because Enrico Fermi's Manhattan Project was to create the world's first sustainable, safe, self-sustaining nuclear reaction. They constructed Chicago Pile 1, which achieved criticality, a sustained nuclear fission reaction, December 2nd, 1942, under the University of Chicago's Stag football field stands. But since this experiment was too dangerous to conduct in a major city, it was moved to a spot nearby in Palos Hills and named Argonne after the surrounding forests. You know, when I was trying to learn about the element argon, I was really hoping that Argonne Lab, so close to where I grew up, would have something to do with argon and not the nearby forest preserves. Now, the element argon got its name from the Greek word meaning lazy, and that's because argon is atomically stable and resistant to bonding with other elements. And because argon is about the same solubility in water as oxygen, argon often displaces oxygen and moisture-containing air in packaging materials to extend the shelf life of its contents. You know, other noble gas elements probably would work as well as argon for this, but argon is the cheapest, so I guess the cheap one is the one that wins. Since argon is colorless, odorless, and this is the important part, does not satisfy the body's need for oxygen, argon is therefore an asphyxiant. And since it's hard to detect, it's highly dangerous in closed areas. But on the plus side, liquefied argon is used in cyroblastation to actually destroy cancer cells with argon plasma beam electrosurgery. And the thing is, argon can also be used to create incandescent lights looking like blue neon, and you can just add a little mercury to make that light look more electric blue. I wonder if that blue light argon can emit looks anything like what I see in the night sky, because the one tidbit about argon that really got to me was that argon is used primarily in its liquid form, as a target for direct dark matter searches. The interaction of a hypothetical WIMP, a weakly interacting massive particle, with the argon nucleus produces scintillating light. And with argon gas, it can detect these ionized electrons that were made during the WIMP nucleus scattering. Wow, okay. This is when once I was playing cards. We decided to place bets on who was the winner of each hand that we would get. Since we didn't have any money and we were on an astronomical kick, we first winning hand won the moon, and then the Earth, and then more of the planets, and then the asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud, the solar system, the Milky Way galaxy. We may have even bet on the Andromeda galaxy or constellations like Orion, even though the stars and the nebula and the constellation are actually nowhere near each other in the universe. Then my opponent suggested that the winner of the next hand should have dominion over dark matter. All right, he won that one. Okay, he won that hand, but the winner of the next hand, the final hand, actually won the universe, and since I won that last hand, I wanted to say that I was therefore also ruling over the dark matter as well. Now, you can't see dark matter directly. Scientists believe that this hypothetical dark matter, which neither emits nor absorbs light or radiation, it can take up to 84% of all of the matter in the universe. Since dark matter can't be seen, scientists can only infer its existence of dark matter by its gravitational effect on other matter in the universe. And they assume the corresponding particle in cold dark matter is a weakly interacting massive particle, a WIMP. Now, all of this is hypothetical, but think about it. If the dark matter within our galaxy is made of WIMPs, then thousands of WIMPs pass through every square centimeter of the Earth each second. That's kind of cool. And if argon is used to help detect these hypothetical WIMPs, that's kind of cool too, because this stable noble gas may be difficult for people trying to breathe in confined spaces when argon can easily displace oxygen. But argon can help remove cancer from our bodies. It can light the way, and it may even help people learn more about some of those undiscovered details of the universe too. I did that one, so I know it's a weird one. There you got your science count. I did that one back in the day when I was running the open mic in Chicago, and I had a feature where I was reading elements, and you can't even see it in really tiny, but it's 18018 on the screen for different shows that I did for Argon as well at the Gallery Cabaret in Chicago. But thank you very much for listening for you guys on that one. I think I might save stuff for another round, but I am looking forward to starting the second round because I believe that the John F. McMullen would be next. So I hope that you have got some poetry for me. If you are ready, my darling, are you, sir?